Hello everyone. I am a person that has always been, and especially somewhat recently, a quite productive person. And you know what? This one's for all of you out there who has executive dysfunction, because honestly, the executive dysfunction kind of gets me and everyone I know, but things do get better, trust me. Unfortunately, things only get better for those who help themselves, and I'm here to help you help yourself. So, let's start out. What is executive dysfunction? It's essentially your brain takes forever to do things, and then you can't think of one thing because another thing's in there, and then you're like prioritizing things and it goes all over the place, and your brain is just a big melting pot of confusion. And then you're like, oh, there's so many things I want to do. Also, you might be a massive hobbyist like I am, and you know what makes you feel good? Like having hobbies. And what doesn't feel good is realizing that everything needs to be put away and you're surrounded by things. And so this is a mindset thing first. Before you even get to like physically doing things and organizing your life, mindset. Hi, just jumping in to say something. Really the first step is mindfulness and being aware of yourself and your surroundings, like understanding who you are and your needs. That is what I mean. Like to be able to detect that it is a mess around you and that is what's making you feel frazzled and uncomfortable, and that will help you determine how to work better at doing things. Like, oh, I'm glued to brainwashing and watching short videos on my phone, and it's not necessarily like, oh, I'm gonna not do that. The idea is why am I doing this? What am I avoiding? And what am I trying to remedy by doing this? You're actually trying to think about yourself and use that mentality. Sometimes the best way to do this is literally just spend some time thinking. Like, try turning everything off, and it can be kind of torturous because you're used to having something to stimulate you, but you start to stimulate yourself with thoughts, and you'll tend to find that this whole thing, the executive dysfunction thing, is a skill. You'll find that your skills improve when you think about them, which is true for everything. And that is really the main point I'm trying to get to. But I'm really elaborate about it, but it's fun. Just so, yes, I just wanted to say that right here at the beginning before I start wiggling about doing all this random stuff. But yeah, okay. Bye. Am I a person, like, just assess who you are as a person. Like, the things that are wrong, and try to think about actually what affects you. Because you might not even notice that having a messy house affects you. And I don't until it's really messy and I have a day of the week or like my one day off or whatever, and I will do this. This is a priority of stuff just to clean up. Originally, I started out just doing a little bit each day, like each morning. I would do this and wash dishes and that, but then like I can't always keep it up. Like it's troublesome sometimes to be doing that to yourself all the time. So this is going to, however, be somewhat more about hobbies than daily tasks. Daily tasks are great, but they all come in together. So I use this to organize myself to play bass every day. And for me, probably when it comes to something like learning bass or an instrument, or I also have a pole, like a dance pole, and to like, to like continuously learn one thing that I'm practicing at. It could be cooking. I did do that for a while. I learned how to cook really well because I like to eat really well and can't always afford to eat really well. So I cooked really well, and now I eat really well all the time because I can cook. It could be getting work done, but it's easier to apply it to something that has less of a hold on your life, because this is enacting a lifestyle. So, number 1, you want to prioritize your tasks. Number 2, you need to enjoy your hobbies more than brain rotting. You need to enjoy your hobbies more than whatever stops you from doing said hobbies. So for a lot of people, this is a really common thing. You sit on your phone, you scroll through short video clips, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, that's a really, really common one. You just scroll through short clips. I used to sometimes. For me, it's like images. I'm more likely to get lost in scrolling and looking at images, but it's because I'm a big consumer of culture and art, which actually is a hobby of mine. But you know, the action of the scrolling and doing that wasn't really me doing my hobby. It was sort of like a procrastination. It was an alternative. A big thing for me was binge watching television shows. Yeah, people like scroll through shorts and stuff. No, I would just sit there and watch all like 8 seasons of Mad Men. You know, like an unnaturally short amount of time, because I'll just always have it on, and I'll be like having it on the background, brushing my teeth. I've got like TV, a really long, really good TV series just going in the background that I've probably seen before for like background noise. But you have to enjoy your hobbies more than whatever your brain rot is. So, like, I love watching these shows. I've seen most of them. There's a reason I like watching them. But I would rather, like, the satisfaction I get over a period of time from, like, playing the bass or doing pole or, like, getting exercise or, like, gardening. I don't know. You get it. Like, a hobby is greater than I get from binge watching this show that I've already seen. I do still watch the shows, but I'll watch them, like, one episode at a time. And that becomes a portion of self-control and discipline, which... it's an overarching thing. These are not things you can just be like, I'm self-controlled and disciplined now, because it doesn't necessarily work out that way, and you'll actually, trying to force yourself into these things can, you know, not benefit your life. It can actually make it harder. It can make you sad, or it can make you feel weighed down, which is the opposite of what you're trying to do. The best way to curb executive dysfunction is to just integrate your life into your life as a part of way you are functioning. So instead of using it as something that's causing dysfunction in your life, you're trying to rewire yourself to take into account that as a problem. Sort of like if you had your arm in a cast because your arm was broken, you would sort of rewire your daily actions to accommodate the fact that you can't use your right arm. Or like, you know, like you're going to shower instead of take a bath, or because then you can avoid using that arm, or you know, you're not going to wash your hair with your broken arm, you're going to use your other hand. You're going to start changing up your life to accommodate this thing that has been holding you back, and then it doesn't really hold you back because you sort of just get used to it. Obviously an arm cast would probably come off, but the executive dysfunction probably doesn't ever really go away, but it kind of does once you've integrated it into your life, because it's just the way that you function now. It's not something that's pulling back the things that you like to do. Anyways, back to the number of things. I think I was probably on number 2. Number 3. Can you use one thing as a tool to find the other things that you really love? This is about the mindset. So if you're using, say like I was playing the bass, I'm still learning the bass, and I'm using that as a tool to express my creativity, which is now in music. Like actually what I want to do is to make music, and so now I'm exploring in loads of different avenues of music because the bass was the tool that I used to get there, and I still use it to navigate that landscape. And also, like, I can't just look at all music things at once and understand them, but I can learn things about the bass, and then I learn about the notes on the neck, and then I learn about the theory, because notes are theory, like the concept of the notes is a theory, music theory, and then it sort of like snowballs from one thing to another, and you like go back and forth with yourself, and then the next thing you know, you're becoming well-knowledged in a whole area, and it's just one thing leads to another, and it's starting to feel good. And how can you use that tool to benefit that? So the thing is with the executive dysfunction as well, it can get very sidetracky. Like you'll want to bounce around with things, and it can be hard to stay on one topic, but by having your tool, like my bass, I'm always in that musical topic, and I can always look up something to do with the bass, which then leads me to other stuff, and I can ping pong off those ideas. And if I still want to learn music, but I then become overwhelmed by the concept, and I don't feel like I can do it, so then I just want to like lie and brain rot. Instead, I can just go back to the bass and practice some bass. And then when I feel ready again, like I might doing something physical generally makes me feel better. So like playing the bass is like a physical thing. You have to like hold it and move your body, and you have to like a mind-body connection between your hands to be able to play. And then I just start to feel a bit better, and then I start thinking more. And then that ability to have freedom to think again, now I might look into making some music. Or I'll be like, oh, maybe I'll try making some music on my phone or my iPad or whatever you have. You get the idea. Some things can be a tool to find something else that you love. For me, as well, it's not brain rotting in the conventional sense, especially because I love consuming art and culture. That's actually a massive hobby of mine, in as many mediums as possible. So this was something I slowly integrated into my life. I maybe went to an exhibition like once every few months, or once a year, once every 6 months. And then gradually it kind of came down to every other month I was going to an exhibition. And then I would be like walking on my day off, I'd go for a walk and I'd consume nature, and it would sort of feel like art. Like I'd start looking at things like it was art. I could start seeing art everywhere. And now I have art all around my house. Have a look at my art. This is an actual painting, you know? Not that it's really focusing. This is a genuine painting. There's a Salvador Dali underneath that bedsheet. I've got the album cover, Fall Out Boy. This is a piece of art. And this is another piece of art. That one's another painting as well. I got these at charity shops. But and now I can appreciate art wherever I am and whenever I want to enjoy it. That's another way I integrated like a hobby into my life. With the bass, it's always out in my living room on a stand, because otherwise I won't use it. If I have to set the whole thing up and everything, another tip, yes, is also have it in front of you. If you're like me, a sense of urgency gets my dysfunction not dysfunctioning anymore. I keep dropping this pen because I'm getting excited. So having like a sense of urgency makes me just a little bit, better at doing stuff. So like, I know I actually wake up a lot earlier and go to bed earlier now, just because it's an easy way for me to function in my life. And so then I wake up in the morning and I'm like, I have to go to work, or I have like plans, or like, I want to do something before lunch. And then I'll be like, which means I have an hour so I can have a coffee, and then I could play bass for like 10 or 20 minutes and then put my shoes on and go. I have to give myself like 20 minutes before I leave, otherwise I will definitely be late. But you get the idea. So then I'm like, sense of urgency, I'll play a bit of bass. I also make videos and I upload shorts of me playing bass, which is probably not the best organized, because usually I like to play and then I would record something that isn't awful and then I post it. But I don't have that much time at the moment, so I play and just post that exact I just record that exact bit that I played and then I post it. Which is so then the shorts are not the best. But at the same time, a lot of the people watching are people that are like learning as well, so it's inspirational and they don't really care how bad it is. It's more that it's out there, it's something to watch, and it's got a bit of my personality in there too, so it's not totally dry. But yeah, something like that. I forgot the point of whatever I was talking about. Anyways, sense of urgency of the bass. Consuming art. Yeah, so the more you look into consuming art, say like as a hobby, you start to find more interesting things to ping pong off of it. Just like when I was learning the bass, and then I'm learning music. I'm going to a joust on Wednesday. I'm going to go watch a joust. If anything I love, fantasy, like random medieval stuff, history, being in castles, and the joust sort of ticks a lot of boxes, and it's consuming culture. I mean, it's a medieval sport, but still, sport influences culture. If you wanted to, I wonder if I should take some videos of that. Let me know if you would be interested in seeing anything about the types of like culture and art that I consume. I go to live gigs, obviously the joust. I go to exhibitions and museums. I go to beautiful architecture. I love some like gorgeous architecture, like obviously castles, townhouses, like cool, beautiful places. I go to a lot of natural areas of beauty. That I feel like true art, nature's art. I also tend to go to like local museums, like history museums, rather than just exhibition museums. I go to the cinema, obviously. I watch films at home, DVD collection. I have CDs as well, but sometimes I'll go to like the charity shop and I'll get random CDs and I'll give them a random listen because I feel like that's an interesting and cool bit of art to like try out. Yeah, and so those are a few ways to curb your executive dysfunction. Although I could probably do a better video with some examples and stuff, but you're probably new here, so you'll have to let me know if you care enough and want that. If you want to like and subscribe, that would be great. I'm going to make more long form videos and they'll gradually get better because I'm quite new at this. And if you want to see me play bass, it's on the short form or music stuff. I'm planning a few short segments that I think would be more fun for long form, like live lounge sort of things where I can chat to other people as well and like how they enjoy their passions, their creativities, how they actually like, you know, get out of them, what they get out of it too. Yeah.